Welcome to Part D. Another key developer that helped Sega was Treasure, which worked exclusively for the machine from the 19th of June when they were first founded. Treasure originally came about when ex-Konami employees Masato Magawa, Hideyuki Suganami and Norio Hanzawa became frustrated with the constant sequels and production line-like releases being done by Konami at the time. They instead wanted to have the freedom to work on the games that they would want to play as gamers and spend time getting that game right. Also, by only releasing games on a single platform, they could squeeze every ounce of power out of the machine that they were working on. Their first fruit of their labour was the amazing run-and-gun blaster called Gunstar Heroes, released in September 1993. The game was a genius of gaming that had graphics and sprites flying around the screen that you wouldn't have thought possible on the humble Mega Drive. Particularly impressive was the end-of-level bosses that you would encounter, really showing off what your Mega Drive could do. The game won over many hearts, instantly becoming a major classic and giving Mega Drive owners something to show off to their SNES and Amiga-owning mates. Also released in 1993 by Treasure was McDonald's Treasure Land Adventure, a great Mario-esque platformer stacked with great level design and chock full of innovative touches. Then in 1994 they had another platformer released called Dynamite Headdy, a great platform game where you got to throw your head about. Then the following year in 1995 two more classic games were released by Treasure. There was Alien Soldier, a mega hard gun blaster that basically threw big boss after big boss at you. Finally in 1995 Treasure released Light Crusader, an isometric 3D RPG, much in the same mould as Cadaver on the Amiga. Another great developer famous on the Mega Drive was UK developer Dave Perry. Dave had made a name for himself on the Spectrum with such classics as 3 Weeks in Paradise, and in 1991 had decided to move across to America and work for Virgin Games. The first game Dave worked on was the Terminator game in 1992. This was one of the first great film tie-ins to be released and championed the use of digitised people as the sprites, giving much more realistic look and feel. Because of this, the game truly captured the atmosphere of the films. Although if you knew the digitised sprites were actually the guys themselves running around with broom handles, it probably spoils the illusion somewhat. For Dave's next game would also be a licensed release, this time for McDonald's and called Global Gladiators, and featuring two characters called Nick and Mac, two eco-warriors sent out by McDonald's to clean up the toxic mess, although you never really discovered if McDonald's caused that mess in the first place. Despite the extremely loose licensing, the game was really good as you blasted your way around the levels. But for gamers it would be Dave Perry's next few games that would cement him as a game developer legend. For his next title in February 1994, Dave released Cool Spot, which was another licensing deal, this time with 7-Up, where they took the red spot of all things, gave it arms and legs and a pair of shades. The initial levels were brilliant, offering up a really enjoyable platformer, although I must say that the later levels smell a little bit of being rushed and were nowhere near as good as the first few. The title did have a sequel of sorts called Spot Goes to Hollywood, released in 1997, but this was done by Eurocom developers and it was an isometric viewpoint. Dave's next game for Virgin was Disney's Aladdin, where Dave and his team worked with Disney Interactive to do a video game that used the artistic talents of Disney themselves. The game was great fun, being an enjoyable platformer full of great levels and humorous characters. Flushed with his success, in 1993 Dave decided to start his own company, taking the cream of people he had worked with at Virgin and starting the company Shiny Entertainment. Their first game would take what they had learned from working with Disney, and armed with 10 Napal, they created a fun run-and-gun blaster based around the unlikeliest of heroes, called Earthworm Jim, released in 1994. The game involved an ordinary worm who manages to fall into a cyber power suit and so becomes a superhero. The game itself was suitably madcap, with you launching cows and shooting psychotic crows. And it was this out-and-out humour that really won the gamers over, opposed to really the gameplay. A sequel inevitably followed in December 1995, offering gamers even more madcap antics to play through. One magazine deserving of a mention at this point was the first real multi-format magazine dedicated to consoles. This was of course Mean Machines, released in 1990. Originally the brainchild of Julian Rignall, it started life as a supplement magazine, CVG, before getting its own magazine in October of 1990. Mean Machines is important as it really gave a new look and feel to game reviewing, taking the tongue-in-cheek tone of the early 8-bit magazines, but bringing it up to date for a new era of gaming. Unfortunately, the magazine was short-lived, with the final edition released in September of 1992 after only 24 issues. Another important event that also happened in late 1992 was the release of the TV show Games Master, which used to be on at 6 p.m. on Tuesday night on Channel 4. This was the first TV show released dedicated to video games, and still, after all these years, it's the best video game TV show to be released. Its success can be centred partly to its main presenter Dominic Diamond, as he quipped and joked throughout, with double entendres, and the iconic Games Master himself, played by the famous astronomer Patrick Moore, as he gave out the challenges and gave aid to fellow gamers in the tips section. But also, the success of the show was due to the exciting challenges and star guest appearances, as gamers fought for the touted golden joystick, which showed off their gaming prowess. The show would continue for 7 series, with each series being totally different locale, which from first to last was a church, an oil rig, a prison, hell, heaven, Atlantis, and a desert island, fact fans. But by the 7th series the show was starting to feel a little old, and by 1998 the Games Master show would shut its doors forever. Although the Games Master magazine, released in 1993, still continues to this day. But back to Sega, and in 1992 they were in the enviable position of being the console of choice for teenagers and the older demographic, with the SNES machine still being seen as a family-friendly console. It was at this time that Sega decided to embrace the new gaming world of CD, with the Sega CD released in North America in October 1992 and in Europe called the Mega CD in April 1993. But we'll cover this console in much more detail in a later episode. Sadly, as the years progressed, Sega was stuck in the same trap that Nintendo had been in years earlier. If they released a new machine, they risked losing their cash-generating console and alienate its fellow gamer base. But if they did nothing, then the competition would overtake them. In November 1994, Sega ended up rather messily doing 2 things at once. They created an add-on peripheral called the 32X, which would plug into the console cartridge itself and offer extra processing power to the console. But when the 32X was released, it would cost a whopping $159 and in the UK £170. And so despite some pretty good games released for the 32X, such as Doom, Star Wars Arcade, Afterburner Complete, and the brilliant Virtua Racing Deluxe, it was rather short-lived. After all, who's going to buy a peripheral that costs the price of a console? Are you listening, Microsoft? The 32X didn't stand a chance because at the same time, Sega would be working on their follow-on console from the Mega Drive called the Sega Saturn. But more on this in a later episode. Wow, this has turned out to be another massive episode, and yet with so much more that I wanted to add in but couldn't. Echo the Dolphin and Toe Jam and Earl instantly spring to mind. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it and look out for my next episode where I look at the portable machines released in 1989. So until next time, see you later.